There was, for a brief window, during the filming of this episode, in fact,
Viva Cuba! Viva Cuba y America!
When the bureaucratic walls between not one, but two governments began to crumble. And the essential takeaway from this open exchange of ideas, ideals, and culture is this. There is nothing sweeter than the forbidden fruit. Havana today is captivating. It's vibrantly colorful, safe, warm, and welcoming, and above all, it's beautiful here. But faced with decades of civil unrest, a sweeping communist movement had captured the will of the Cuban people, when on New Year's Eve, 1958, a revolutionary effort culminated with the seizure of Cuba's capital city.
Cuba tonight is an island in revolt.
Under the leadership of Fidel Castro, General Fulgencio Batista, a brutal dictator, was deposed. And the goal of restoring power and prosperity to all the Cuban people became the paramount function of the state. And despite a trade embargo put in place by the U.S. in 1962, aimed at curbing the spread of communism in the West, and regardless of your political beliefs, Cuba has been moving forward ever since. So if you're looking to move around the country these days, chances are you're cruising in a classic.
Yeah. When people think in Cuba, they think classic cars, because this is part of the Cuban identity. This is who we are, so we need to defend that.
Why do you feel like a classic car here in Cuba will never die?
Because of the embargo, we didn't have the opportunity to bring new cars, so we need to solve the situation with the cars that we had.
But they look brand new, they look beautiful, spotless. How do you make that happen?
With a lot of work, but it's very difficult to maintain a car in Cuba because of the embargo.
And it's mechanical engineers like Diane Gutierrez that are keeping this car culture alive.
A car for a Cuban is a very special thing, so...
In the blood.
Yes, exactly. It's not only what fits us for work, for having fun. This is a family member.
You went with pink.
Well, so we use this car for city tours, and because many tourists like pink cars,
yeah,
people like this color, and I also like this color.
Do you have a name for it?
My neighbors call it like Gansomobile. It's something like the big gay car, something like that.
Big gay car. I like your big gay car. Once a month, fellow auto enthusiasts from Club de Autos Antiguos a la Cubano gather to talk shop, socialize, and show off their rides. Gracias. Caliente, huh? Sí?
Caliente, mucho calor.
But there is only one thing hotter than the weather here in Havana, and that's the wheels.
El concepto popular es que un carro, porque es viejo, ya es clásico, y no es así. No todo lo que vemos son clásicos.
So you're gonna show me what's under the hood?
Sure.
That's what I'm wondering. So what makes a car classic?
Para ser clásico es una categoría que se obtiene desde la fábrica.
This is a 1956 Chevy Bel Air.
So which parts are still original?
The whole engine, except for the alternator, which is Russian.
Okay.
And the distributor is an electronic one.
Founded in 2003, Club President Alberto Gutierrez Alonso today boasts a loyal membership of 110 automobiles that will leave you breathless. To see one of these classic cars in the States, you're like, oh my gosh, it's amazing, but there's a fleet here in Cuba. How much pride do you take in your cars and your club?
A los cubanos somos una familia. Fíjate tú si estamos orgullosos que nosotros hacemos las exhibiciones de gratis. No cobramos por hacer las exhibiciones.
Thank you. A body in motion tends to stay in motion. And the only thing that beats a classic is an original. Most dance historians trace the roots of salsa to the streets of Cuba, and casino, the Cuban style of this art form, is undeniably entirely their own.
In Cuba, the Cubans, they don't study casino. So they're born with it.
They're born with it.
Yeah, it's not something that you have to go to learn how to do it.
It's life.
Yeah.
Maestro and choreographer Rodolfo Salas has been dancing professionally for 20 years. And each week, tourists and locals alike flock to Jardín 1830 to watch his troupe, Rueda de Casino, perform their craft. Is it hips? Is it hands?
There is no casino without hips. There is not casino without movement.
Is it choreographed or is it improvisation? Or?
It's an improvisation. but you need to learn the basics.
Okay. It's a partner dance. Oh.
Yeah, it's a partner dance. So we will be on the social position, 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, 7. It's more about feelings.
You let the music move you, huh?
Yeah.
You like dirty dancing?
Like the relaxing, yeah. You go back step on 1 and 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7.
Do you feel like there's a message with Casino that you're trying to express with the movement?
Yeah, of course. It's very connected with the way we live. It's expression of our mood. It's expression of our feelings. Okay, so your hand should be here. And I feel free when I dance Casino. For me,
it's connection.
It's connection.
Yeah. Okay.
It's good. You're really good.
Little bits? Yeah? Basic steps?
Yeah.
Okay. But as those basic steps turn into complex spins, ebbs, and flows, you just added something. What just happened? And as rehearsal comes to a close, something becomes perfectly clear. Havana days are steamy, the nights are even hotter, and awe-inspiring performances are uniquely punctuated by a party.
Un aplauso. Buenas noches.
First you cut.
Like that.
You want me to bite into this?
Yeah, it's a bite. A little bit, just a little bit. Don't break it. Don't break it. Okay, just spit. That's it. Let me light it for you.
Okay. Then you ignite. Yeah, you do it right. And finally, you draw. You've done this before. Some people inhale, but most do not. Instead, savor the Cuban tobacco as it penetrates your palate. The process of smoking a cigar, it's very relaxed. You kind of take it in. It's indulgent.
Yeah, of course. Smell the flavor, the feeling of the wrapper.
It's making me a little dizzy. That's a good time.
That's the goal, to enjoy the cigar.
Yeah, but you need to. It's an enjoyable experience.
That's nice.
A walk through the city of columns is a feast for your senses. Touch, taste, look, and listen.
Everything okay, everything all right. Yeah.
But if there's one smell that permeates the humid Havana air, it's the smoke from a stogie. Housed within a massive 5-story complex located in central Havana, the Partagas Cigar Factory has produced some of the world's finest cigars since 1845. So how many rollers are rolling here today?
We have around 225 rollers.
225. And how many cigars per person are they producing in a day?
115
115
cigars
per
each
day.
one, yeah.
Wow.
Depending on the size, a little bit more, a little bit less.
And with 17 years of on-the-job experience, Master Roller Gustavo Garcia is charged with overseeing all of it. Do you have a certain name for the cigar rollers, or do you just call them rollers?
In English, okay, it's a roller, but in Spanish, we have two names, tabaqueros.
Tabaqueros?
Tabaqueros. It's about tobacco.
Yeah.
But torcedores is about the action.
Torcedores.
That's it.
I got into that. Torcedores.
Torcer means to roll.
Torcer.
To roll.
I like how that sounds. Torcer.
Yeah.
While the Spanish R rolls easily off the tongue, rolling out a Cuban is a hard-learned skill. This is one of the most respected professions in Cuba, do you think?
Yeah, because it's something traditional. So it became a very special job for us.
What's the training like to become a cigar roller?
The training will last at least 9 months. In 1 month, they have to make the perfect filler.
How do we make the filler?
Filler is the inside part of the cigar.
Okay.
So you have to make like a paper fan, just like this. And then tight a little bit.
Take the ends off?
That's it.
Each of these leaves kind of give a different flavor?
Yeah. And the blend of this one will give to the cigar different aromas, different character.
Following strict recipes that dictate the number of leaves used and even the order in which they're placed, strongest flavors go in the center. One more.
That's it.
I got it. The decision to wrap what's now known as a bunch in a binder leaf is solely at the discretion of the roller.
So you have to have
Yes, like this.
this one over this one.
Okay.
Cover. And we will roll from here to there.
You're doing it with one hand
Yeah,
there.
it's not easy
Skills.
holding this one.
Got my little carrot stick here now.
Now it's almost dressed. The wrapper is the final leaf. The leaf that will make beauty to the cigar.
These leaves are from Cuba, right? Everything's from Cuba.
Everything is from Cuba. The taste of the wrapper is very mild. This is all Cuban tobacco. So will be the outside beauty.
This kind of has a bit of stretch to it.
Yeah, stretch.
Like this?
That's okay. Remove this part.
It didn't cut.
This way, this way, this way. That's right. Good.
Yeah. Everyone in this room is making it look real easy. I'm definitely
Very easy.
amateur over here.
Years of a skill.
We shape and roll. What makes a cigar perfect?
It's beginning to feel. Pressing and dressing.
We seal the deal.
The soil and the weather in these places. It's okay, it can be fixed.
Oh no! We cap it off.
And at the end, the skills of the rollers.
This is meticulous.
Yeah.
Finally, we chop the cigar down to size. Got it grown in the soil, then the Cubans are making it, hand rolling it.
Got it?
Yeah?
That's it.
Talk about handmade, huh?
Yeah.
Legit.
In fact, you can even check it on the boxes. Totalmente a mano means totally by hand.
Totalmente a mano. Mwah. In Cuba, indulgence can come in many forms. Which is why when world-renowned author Ernest Hemingway first moved to the island nation in the 1940s, his third wife chose a location for what is now their museum home, 15 miles from Havana's famous watering holes. That being said, the mojito, the presidente, and the pina colada were all invented here in Cuba, as was the daiquiri, Hemingway's drink of choice, born in his favorite bar. And to quote Florida's most famous patron, an intelligent man is sometimes forced to be drunk to spend time with his fools. The act of eating out and a variety of dining options are easily taken for granted. But in Cuba, restaurants have remained government-run institutions since the communist revolution in the 1950s.
Historically, there really hasn't been that much of a Cuban dining experience.
Gracias.
There have been these state places that are run by state workers with state food. You're talking tables with tablecloths and waiters wearing ties.
Formal.
In Spanish, they say cuadrado.
What would that mean in English?
It'd be like sort of squared off,
Like
not
in a
very
box.
flexible, in a box. And
Yeah.
we didn't want to do that, but we also wanted to have really high quality food and like a nice dining experience.
Color outside the lines a little bit.
Exactly.
With recent reforms resulting in easing economic restrictions, Cuba is currently experiencing a culinary revolution. This is delicious. And what initially began as makeshift meals made out of civilian houses, I'm so full but I can't stop eating, has today expanded into a community of privately owned and operated eateries known as paladars. Before you were able to open up your own restaurant, you had to open up your own home.
Exactly.
El paladar es el sabor que tú tienes cuando pruebas algo, ¿no?
That's what paladar means? It's the flavor.
Sí, claro, claro.
If you're eating out, is this the normal way to go?
Well, I think that's part of what we're doing that's different. Cuisine that was sort of a fusion of California and Cuba.
You're both worlds.
That's sort of what we're going for. We want there to be a place for that.
Hailing from San Francisco, Shauna Baum and her husband, Cuban-born Paver Corre Broche, own California Cafe, a paladar that dishes out casual coastal flavors while serving as the perfect metaphor between two realigning nations.
There's an affinity between Americans and Cubans of almost like a kinship that's been lost. And so there's something here, like, for me, it feels like kind of a reunification.
There's an authenticity to this because you've got the Cali American side and you've got the Cuban side.
We sort of view ourselves as being part of the new emerging Cuba.
You guys are a little power couple over here. And that power stems from a relaxed atmosphere, live music, plenty of drinks made with Cuban rum, an amazingly inviting full-time staff, and access to incredible ingredients.
Famosa hierba buena, lo que es la hierba de mojito.
I understood mojito.
Muy bueno.
I could go around sniffing this all day. Is that weird? The emergence of privately run restaurants has coincided with farmers looking to cash in on their own goods.
De este tipo de pimiento,
Muy caliente.
muy caliente. El famoso aguacate de...
That's an avocado?
fruta bomba, cilantro.
And the limes, of course.
And at local markets called agros, a beautiful bounty of Cuban produce is on full display.
We come here every morning at the crack of dawn. We're buying all of our fruits and vegetables for the day, and then William's also looking for what's fresh.
If something isn't in season, then is it not on the menu?
A veces están perdidos. ¿Sí?
They call it lost here. Things are perdidos. There's a lot of limitations around what we're able to import because of the embargo. If a ship goes to Cuba, it can't go to the United States for I think 6 months.
Wow.
So there's a lot of ingredients and things that just don't come here.
How do you then work with that?
So we decided to really focus on Cuban agriculture and availability, especially because everything here is just naturally local and organic.
I feel like Cubans are very resourceful, aren't they?
La necesidad nos obliga a eso.
Necessity has made us like that.
Around the corner from the legendary Hotel Nacional, bag groceries are transformed into fuller flavors back at California Cafe.
Something smells delicious.
And after dedicating 20 years in professional kitchens, Chef Danielo Gonzalez Hernandez continues to redefine Cuban cooking.
Do you feel like there's one dish in Cuba that represents Cuban cuisine?
Rice and beans, roast pork.
Rice and beans and roast pork. But this restaurant's kind of a hybrid, huh?
For me, Cuban cuisine is my base.
And you can taste that foundation with dishes like the tropical pineapple shrimp stir-fried in a garlic sofrito.
Yum, yum, yum. You serve it just like that?
Perfect, like that.
Bonita.
The eggplant, tomatoes, and onions grilled on the plancha.
Salt, pepper.
Salt and pepper. Flip?
Yeah, I can flip it. Good, thank you.
Welcome.
See, chef.
Woohoo!
Congratulations.
Gracias.
And the absolute must-have, sandwich cubano.
So this is pork you grilled?
Yeah, we make it here on the stove.
Jamón.
Smoke leg, yeah.
What kind of cheese?
Gouda.
Oregano.
Yeah, oregano.
All stacked on toasted Cuban bread with a slathering of
Garlic butter.
Garlic butter. I feel like I've been buttered up. Oh, it's hot everywhere. What kind of people are coming in here? Is it locals? Are you getting tourists? I'm going on this sandwich because y'all are like just sitting there looking
Todo el mundo.
all over the world.
If you check them up, they go coming.
Part of what's really important for us, though, is we really want a place that's also for Cubans and for tourists.
So it's authentic, but it's still open.
A lot of people sort of say that, but you have to create an environment that's comfortable
Yeah.
for everybody.
So do you feel like that's kind of your mission with this restaurant?
To make that happen is
a lot of work.
Yeah, and kind of a labor of love.
Should we cheers to Cuba?
Future of Cuba.
Cuba! Just makes me want to boogie.
Cuba is so much more than the city of Havana. And when you explore the country, you're constantly reminded of the island's infinite coastal beauty.
Nosotros vivimos un privilegio muy grande. Tenemos diferentes puntos en la costa donde es un agua tan transparente. Está muy, muy clara y llena de abanicos, corales. Está muy linda.
Muy bonita.
Muy bonita.
Do you ever feel like there's a bad time to swim in the ocean?
Hay tanto calor, los cubanos lo que hacen es venir todos los fines de semana y meterse en el agua.
But there's one beach in particular, maybe more than any other in the world, that's directly changed the course of international relations.
Playa Girón, that's where we're at right now?
Sí, es Playa Girón, ubicándonos en la bahía de Cochino y por esta zona es playa.
On April 17, 1961, some 1,400 Cuban exiles descended upon Cuba's southern shores.
Mr. Castro has said that these were mercenaries.
Los mismos cubanos que habían salido del país anteriormente estaban en desacuerdo con las ideas de Castro, por eso ellos deciden venir todos aquí a invadir Cuba y volver a tomarla como anteriormente existía antes.
Financed by the United States government with military support provided by the CIA, the invasion was met by Fidel Castro.
Cada uno de los mercenarios traía este juego, era personal de cada uno de ellos.
20,000 Cuban soldiers.
Este es el uniforme que usaban las milicias nacionales revolucionarias.
This is what they wore?
El uniforme.
Uniform?
And the operation, which was fraught with problems from the word go,
el movimiento de las tropas cubanas,
was over after only 66 hours of combat.
Y por aquí vamos a ver entonces los cubanos victoriosos celebrando con júbilo.
They look happy.
But today, whether you snorkel with Rogelio Garcia at Caleta Buena, or tour the exhibits with museum technician Lejani Carballo Reynaldo,
so 2 p.m. it was going down.
The Bay of Pigs remains as beautiful as it is culturally significant. It's amazing to think that such impactful world events happened here.
Es verdad, pero lo que después, la historia fue la que hizo darle más fuerza y más popularidad al lugar.
What is the Cubans' reaction today? How do you feel about it today?
Siempre se le ha dado mucha importancia al suceso de Rhian porque de eso venimos.
And it changed the course of history forever.
Sí, cambiaron el curso de la historia.
It's been 50-some years. Do you feel like we're closer to peace?
Por más que yo quiera.
Eso esperamos, porque en realidad somos todos personas y nos gusta mucho la paz.
Time waits for no man.
I invite you to go to Cuba.
But time is relative.
And to see what happened there.
And with better understanding, you come to realize that a dignified country like Cuba is not really lost within it.
Cuba is a wonderful place, good beaches, blue sky, and good people.
Because with a vibrant past to build from, tomorrow promises to be an even brighter future.